Sister never imagined I owned the mansion she bragged about buying. When she declared, "I'm hosting my wedding here," I revealed the truth and turned the day upside down. I've always known exactly when Victoria would announce her next grand achievement. It's always during family dinner. Always when everyone's wine glasses are full. And always when she's wearing that smug smile that makes me want to throw my napkin across the table. My name is Esther, and I'm the invisible sister. The one who blends into the wallpaper while Victoria commands the spotlight like it's her birthright. Tonight is no different, except that this time, I'm the one holding on to a secret that could shatter her perfect world. I have the most incredible news, Victoria announces, tapping her wine glass with her perfectly manicured nail. The crystal rings drawing everyone's attention. Mom leans forward already beaming with pride while I take another sip of my Marlowe, fighting back a knowing smile. Elliot and I bought the most magnificent mansion on Maple Grove. Victoria's voice rises with excitement. It's absolutely perfect for our wedding. The grand staircase, the chandelier in the foyer, the garden pavilion, it's like something out of a fairy tale. I nearly choke on my wine. The mansion on Maple Grove. My mansion on Maple Grove. Oh, darling. That's wonderful. Mom exclaims, reaching across the table to squeeze Victoria's hand. I always knew you'd end up somewhere spectacular. Didn't I say that, Esther? You certainly did, I reply, keeping my voice steady. Every chance you got. Show them the photos, honey, Elliot says, his arm draped around Victoria's shoulders. He's exactly the kind of man everyone expected Victoria to land, wealthy, polished, and completely wrapped around her finger. Victoria pulls out her phone, swiping through photos I recognize all too well. Look at these marble countertops and the original hardwood floors. The previous owner maintained everything beautifully. That they did, I murmur, thinking about the countless hours I'd spent researching restoration companies and historical preservation techniques. Esther, you'll help with the wedding planning, won't you? Victoria asks, though it's not really a question. You're so good with details. Of course, I say, catching Jonah's eye across the table. He's the only one who knows the truth, and I can see him struggling to keep a straight face. We're thinking June, Victoria continues. The gardens will be in full bloom in June? I interrupt, my heart racing. That's only 3 months away. Well, when you know what you want, Victoria flashes her engagement ring, making sure it catches the light. Besides, the house is perfect as is. We won't need to change a thing. Jonah coughs deliberately. Not even check with the owner first? Victoria's perfectly shaped eyebrows furrow. We are the owners, silly. The papers are being finalized next week. I grip my napkin under the table, my knuckles turning white. If she only knew that I'd signed those papers 6 months ago, that every inch of that mansion belongs to me. A toast, Mom declares, raising her glass, to Victoria and Elliot and their beautiful new home. Everyone raises their glasses except Jonah, who watches me with concern. I lift mine slowly, the weight of my secret pressing down on my shoulders. Actually, Victoria adds, I was thinking Esther could help with the catering arrangements. You're so good at staying within a budget. And there it is, another subtle dig, another reminder of my place in her shadow. I feel something shift inside me, like a lock finally breaking. I'd love to help, I say, my voice dripping with honey. After all, I know that house better than anyone. Victoria laughs, dismissing my comment entirely. Oh, please, you've only been there once with me last week. If she only knew about the nights I spent walking through those rooms, planning renovations, imagining a life where I finally step out of her shadow. But soon she would. Soon everyone would. More wine? Jonah offers, breaking the tension. As conversation flows around me, I catch fragments of Victoria's wedding plans, each more elaborate than the last. She's already talking about where to place the champagne fountain, which walls to drape with silk, how to transform my carefully restored dining room into her vision of wedding perfection. I smile and nod, playing my usual role of the supportive sister. But inside, I'm counting down the days. Let her plan. Let her dream. Let her stand in the spotlight one last time. Because when June comes, she'll finally learn what it feels like to be the one in the shadows, and I'll be the one holding the deed to her perfect fairy tale ending. More dessert, anyone? Mom asks, already cutting Victoria an extra large slice of cheesecake. No, thanks, I say quietly, savoring the sweetness of my secret instead. You should have seen your face when she started talking about the champagne fountain, Jonah says, handing me a coffee as we sit in my apartment the next morning. I thought you were going to explode. I almost did. I curl up in my favorite armchair watching the steam rise from my cup. She wants to put it right where I planned my reading nook. Can you believe that? You know what would solve this whole problem? Jonah leans forward, his expression serious. The truth. Before I can respond, my phone buzzes. Victoria's name flashes across the screen, and I suppress a groan. Esther. Victoria's voice blares through the speaker. I need you at the mansion in an hour. The wedding planner's coming, and someone needs to take notes. I have work. I already called your boss. He's giving you the morning off. Isn't that wonderful of him? Of course she did. Victoria has always treated my time like it belongs to her. Fine, I say, shooting Jonah an exasperated look. I'll be there. Perfect. Oh, and wear something professional. The wedding planner is very high-end. The line goes dead before I can respond. See? Jonah gestures at my phone. This is exactly why you need to tell her. It's not that simple. I set my coffee down. You didn't grow up with her and Mom. Every time I achieved something, Victoria had to do it bigger, better. When I got into college, she had to get into a better one. When I started my career, she had to land a more prestigious job. But this time, you've got her beat. That mansion is yours, fair and square. A knock at my door interrupts us. I open it to find Frankie, our family friend, holding a stack of mail. This was delivered to my place by mistake, she says, handing me an envelope. It's from Harrison & Mills Real Estate. My heart stops. The envelope is clearly addressed to me, but the return address shows the mansion's location. Thanks, I say quickly, stuffing it into my bag before Frankie can ask questions. After she leaves, Jonah raises an eyebrow. Close call. Too close? I grab my coat. I need to get to the mansion before Victoria sends out a search party. The drive to Maple Grove is familiar now, each turn bringing me closer to the property I'd fallen in love with months ago. Victoria's sleek sports car is already parked out front when I arrive. Finally, she emerges from the front door, clipboard in hand. The planner's already inside. She's talking about hanging crystal curtains from the ceiling. Isn't that divine? I follow her into my foyer, my beautiful historically accurate foyer that she wants to turn into a crystal wonderland. Victoria, I start gathering my courage. Don't you think you should wait until the sale is final before making these plans? She waves her hand dismissively. Oh, please. It's practically done. Elliot's lawyer is handling everything. The wedding planner, a sharp-dressed woman named Rachel, appears with fabric swatches. Now about the grand ballroom. It's not a ballroom, I interrupt. It's the main living room, and those walls are original Victorian wallpaper. Rachel and Victoria stare at me. How would you know that? Victoria asks, her eyes narrowing. I did some research, I stammer, because you asked me to help with the planning. Well, regardless, Rachel continues, we'll need to cover those walls. They're not quite the right aesthetic. I bite my tongue so hard I taste blood. The next hour is torture. They discuss ripping up carpets, painting woodwork, and hanging drapes over windows that I'd specifically restored to let in natural light. Oh, Victoria claps her hands. We should look at the deed to check if there are any restrictions on modifications. Elliot's lawyer sent it over. My blood runs cold. The deed? It's in my email somewhere. She scrolls through her phone. Just then, the envelope in my bag feels like it's burning a hole through the leather. One peek inside, and she'd know everything. Never mind, Victoria says, giving up the search. The lawyer will handle it. Now, Esther, I need you to start calling vendors. I've made a list. She hands me a paper filled with her loopy handwriting. Florists, caterers, musicians, enough work to keep me busy for weeks. Victoria, I say slowly. Maybe you should wait. Don't be such a worrywart. She cuts me off. This is happening. The mansion is mine, and it's going to be perfect. I look around at my home, the home I'd chosen, bought, and loved, and feel something inside me harden. You're right, I say, my voice steady. Everything will be exactly as it should be. Victoria beams, mistaking my words for support, but Jonah was right. The truth would come out. And when it did, it would be on my terms, not because of a misdelivered envelope or a lawyer's email. I tuck the vendor list into my bag right next to the real estate envelope and smile. June couldn't come soon enough. 6 months ago, I stood in the same foyer where Victoria now plans to hang her crystal curtains. The real estate agent, Miss Peters, watched as I ran my hand along the mahogany banister. The asking price is firm, she said. But given your financial history and the pre-approval from the bank, I'll take it, I interrupted, still staring at the staircase. Don't you want to discuss it with your family first? I shook my head. This is just for me. Now sitting at Mom's dining table for Sunday brunch, that memory feels like a lifetime ago. Victoria's voice cuts through my thoughts. The renovation team starts tomorrow, she announces, spreading cream cheese on her bagel. They say they can transform the entire first floor in just 2 weeks. Mom clasps her hands together. Oh, sweetheart, you've always had such vision. Remember when you redecorated your college dorm? Everyone wanted to copy you. Actually, I say, pushing my eggs around my plate. Historical homes like that often have specific renovation requirements. Victoria rolls her eyes. Elliot's taking care of all the boring legal stuff besides money talks. Speaking of money, Mom beams. Victoria just got another promotion at work, Senior VP of Marketing. That's wonderful, I managed to say, though the words taste bitter. When did this happen? Last week, Victoria preens. I would have mentioned it at dinner, but I was too excited about the mansion. Of course she was. My sister's life is a carefully orchestrated series of achievements, each one timed for maximum impact. Esther. Mom turns to me, her smile dimming slightly. How's your job going? Still at that little publishing house? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. It's Jonah. Sorry, I say, standing up. I need to take this. I step onto the back porch, grateful for the escape. Your timing is perfect. That bad? Jonah asks. Listen, I just drove by the mansion. There's a whole construction crew outside. My stomach drops. What? They're unloading equipment. Look serious. She can't do this, I whisper, pacing the porch. Those papers aren't even signed yet. Then stop her, Jonah says firmly. Go over there right now, and the sliding door opens behind me, and I quickly end the call. Rosalind, my cousin, steps out. You okay? She asks, closing the door. You look like you were about to explode in there. I'm fine. No, you're not. Rosalind leans against the railing. I heard Victoria talking to Mom earlier. She said you're just jealous because you could never afford a place like that. My laugh comes out harsh. Did she now? There's something you're not telling us, isn't there? Inside, I can hear Victoria's voice rising with excitement as she describes her plans for my home. My home. You know what the funny thing is? I say quietly. I didn't buy that mansion to prove anything. I bought it because the first time I walked in, it felt like somewhere I could finally be myself, somewhere without Victoria's shadow. Rosalind's eyes widen. Wait, are you saying the sliding door opens again? There you are. Victoria interrupts. Esther, I need you to come to the mansion this afternoon. The florist is bringing samples, and someone needs to sign for them. Can't Elliot do it? He's in meetings all day. Come on, you're not doing anything important. I feel Rosalind tense beside me, but I force a smile. Sure, Victoria. Whatever you need. After she disappears back inside, Rosalind grabs my arm. You have to tell them. I will, I say, watching through the window as Mom hangs on Victoria's every word, but not yet. Back inside Victoria's holding court, the wedding will be the social event of the season. Everyone who's anyone will be there. I'm so proud of you, Mom says, tears in her eyes. You've accomplished so much. I think about the deed locked in my safe at home, about the months I spent working overtime and living on ramen to save for the down payment, about all the dreams I had for that house. Oh, Esther, Victoria calls out. While you're at the mansion later, can you let the construction crew in? They need to start removing that awful wallpaper. Something inside me snaps. No. The room goes quiet. Excuse me. Victoria's smile freezes. I said no. I stand up straighter. I have plans this afternoon, but find someone else to be your doormat, Victoria. I'm done. I grab my purse and walk out, ignoring Mom's shocked gasp and Victoria's sputtering. As I drive away, my phone lights up with angry messages, but for the first time in years, I feel light. Let 'em wonder. Let 'em worry. In less than 3 months, they'll understand exactly why I finally said no. The sound of power tools greets me as I pull up to the mansion the next morning. My hands shake as I watch workers carrying out pieces of original crown molding, my crown molding, and tossing them into a dumpster. Stop. I jump out of my car. What are you doing? A foreman approaches, clipboard in hand. Following the renovation plans. Ma'am, are you with the wedding party? Before I can answer, Victoria's voice rings out from the front door. Esther, what are you doing here? She's wearing a hard hat like it's a fashion accessory, complete with a pink bow stuck to the side. I was driving by and saw them destroying the house. I say, trying to keep my voice steady. Destroying? Victoria laughs. We're improving it. Wait until you see what we're doing with the library. My heart stops. The library? I follow her inside. Past workers carrying paint cans and drop cloths. The library, my favorite room, with its floor-to-ceiling bookshelves and reading window, has been gutted. The shelves are gone, leaving ghost rectangles on the walls. We're turning it into the gift room, Victoria explains, gesturing grandly. The shelves were so stuffy and old-fashioned. Elliot agrees this will be much more practical. Where? I swallow hard. Where are the shelves? Oh, in the dumpster, I suppose. They were just cheap wood anyway. Those cheap shelves were hand-carved oak from 1892. I'd spent weeks researching their history. Victoria, I managed through clenched teeth. You can't just, oh, she claps her hands. While you're here, I need your opinion on something. The workers found this weird old document behind one of the shelves. It looks important, but it's so dusty. She leads me to a side table where a framed piece of paper sits. My blood runs cold. It's the original deed to the house dated 1890. I'd been looking for it everywhere. We should probably throw it out, Victoria muses, reaching for it. No. I snatch it away. It's historically significant. I'll take it. Victoria shrugs. Whatever. Oh, did you hear? Elliot's parents are flying in next week to see the house. I told them all about the improvements we're making. A crash from upstairs makes us both jump. What was that? I asked, already running toward the stairs. Probably just the crew removing those ugly stained glass windows in the master bedroom. Victoria calls after me. We're replacing them with modern ones. I freeze mid-step. Those windows were what made me fall in love with the house in the first place. The way the morning sun painted rainbow patterns across the floor. Victoria. Elliot's voice booms from the front door. The contractor needs to discuss the budget. I peek over the railing to watch their interaction. Budget? Victoria's voice rises. What do you mean? Daddy said he'd cover everything. Well, these changes are exceeding even his expectations, Elliot says, looking uncomfortable. Maybe we should scale back some of the renovations until after the wedding. Scale back? Victoria stamps her foot. This is my perfect day we're talking about. I won't compromise. Our perfect day, Elliot corrects quietly. From my hidden spot on the stairs, I watch Rosalind slip in through the front door, probably looking for me after our conversation yesterday. She hangs back listening. The house needs to be perfect, Victoria insists. I won't have people thinking we can't afford the best, especially not my sister. What does Esther have to do with this? Victoria laughs sharply. Please, she's always been jealous of me. You should see how she looks at this house like she wishes it was hers, as if she could ever have something this magnificent. I hear Rosalind's sharp intake of breath from below. That's a bit harsh, Elliot says. Esther's always been supportive because she has to be. She's nothing but my plain boring little sister who'll probably end up alone with a bunch of cats and those stupid books she loves so much. The antique banister creaks under my grip. Victoria. Rosalind steps forward. How can you say that about your own sister? Oh, please. Victoria waves her hand dismissively. Everyone knows it's true. Now about these renovations. I've heard enough. I walk down the stairs, making sure my heels click loudly on each step. Victoria spins around, her face paling slightly. Esther, I didn't know you were still here. Obviously. I clutch the framed deed to my chest. Don't worry about the budget, Victoria. Something tells me these renovations won't be continuing much longer. I walk out holding my head high, Rosalind close behind me. Let Victoria wonder what I meant. In just a few weeks, she'd understand exactly how wrong she was about her plain boring little sister. Behind us, I hear Elliot ask, what did she mean by that? Victoria's response is lost in the sound of another crash upstairs, like the house itself is protesting its destruction. She's destroying everything. I tell Jonah as we sit in his living room that evening. The rescued deed sits on his coffee table between us. Those windows, the shelves, everything that made the house special. Then it's time. Jonah leans forward. The wedding's in 2 weeks. How long are you gonna wait? Before I can answer, my phone rings. Victoria's face appears on the screen. Ignore it, Jonah advises. I shake my head and answer. Hello? Finally? Victoria's voice is shrill. I've been calling for hours. Listen, there's been a tiny problem with the wedding plans. What kind of problem? Elliot's lawyer says there's some issue with the house paperwork. Something about the deed being unclear. Anyway, I need you to call the real estate office first thing tomorrow and sort it out. I catch Jonah's eye. He mouths, tell her. Victoria, I start. About the house. Oh, and the wedding planner quit. Can you believe it? She said something about ethical concerns and unauthorized renovations. So now I need you to take over all the planning. What? No. Perfect. I'll email you her files. Oh, and Mom wants you to give a speech at the reception. Nothing too long. Maybe just talk about how I've always been your role model? The laugh that escapes me is borderline hysterical. Your role model? Well, obviously. I mean, look at everything I've accomplished. The career, the mansion, Elliot. The mansion isn't speaking of Elliot, she interrupts again. He's being weird about the renovation costs. Could you maybe talk to him? Explain how important this is? Important? I stand up pacing Jonah's living room. You mean, like, those stuffy bookshelves were important or the ugly stained glass windows? Why are you being so difficult? This is my wedding. In my house. The words burst out before I can stop them. Silence fills the line. What did you say? Victoria's voice is dangerously quiet. Nothing. I have to go. I hang up, my hands shaking. Well, Jonah says, that was almost the truth. My phone immediately starts ringing again. This time it's Elliot. Esther? He sounds worried. Victoria's really upset. She says you made some strange comment about the house. Elliot. I take a deep breath. Has Victoria shown you the actual deed to the mansion? Her lawyer's handling all that. Why? Maybe you should ask to see it. Another call beeps through. Mom. This time. I decline it. Esther? Elliot says slowly. Is there something I should know? Before I can respond, I hear